Good morning, Plateau, wherever you are. We hope that you're doing well. You are, after yesterday's rest, you are up and doing something positive for yourself. We welcome you to another edition of Good Morning, Plateau, the midweek edition. I am Inga Samuel. I'll be with you, taking you through the conversation from now until it's 10 o'clock. Remember how we normally do it at 9:30. It will be your turn. Also be part of the conversation with your calls and questions, and of course your thoughts concerning our topic for today. So imagine registering courses on your phone, taking CBT exams with stable internet and getting results online. That's the promise of the Smart Campus project. Today we ask, how far so far, what's working, what's not working, and how is it changing learning in Plateau State University. This morning I have two great personalities, and they are just the right people to talk about this issue this morning. We'll be having a talk. We'll be assessing where Plateau started, achievements recorded, projects currently underway, challenges encountered. Of course, there must be challenges as we continue to progress. And then, of course, the benefits to the university, community, and plans for the future. All these are coming your way this morning on Good Morning Plateau. And I have the ICT specialist. He was here some time ago. He talked about computer, so you know that that's his field. I have Satmer Dapel. He is the director of ICT Directorate, Plateau State University. Plateau, good morning, sir.
Good morning, listeners.
And with him is Professor. You know, we are following protocol, Prof. I have to call him then the bigger one. All right, Professor Buba Mama Wufem. He is the Directorate of Academic Planning, Plateau. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning.
And how are you doing?
And
the family, everybody's fine?
Yes.
Yeah.
We thank God. So, we will begin our conversation this morning. I know we have been hearing Smart Campus. Smart Campus. What does it mean for us to have like a smart school? What does it mean? What Smart Campus project?
All right. Good morning, listeners, and thank you for having us here today. When you say the word smart, we're looking at seamless operations, we're looking at intelligence, we're looking at ability to reason and solve problems or situations with minimal efforts, and a campus is a learning environment, particularly a tertiary institution. And when we are looking at a smart campus, education has gone far. It's just that we in the African context, we are yet to see how far education has gone. Education is just an environment you acquire knowledge and you learn so much. And there are facilities, there are resources, there are things that are supposed to make your learning experience seamless, beautiful, and exciting. That's the whole idea. And if you go to advanced countries, from the point you are applying for your admission to the point of graduation, and even to the point you begin to apply for transcripts and things like that, you don't have a lot to worry about, because all the technological infrastructure are made available for you. You place your application online, Your application is processed without you necessarily going to the institution to lobby or to force your way somewhere. You get admitted, you are communicated seamlessly from your phone, from your system. You now begin your registration without interfacing necessarily with everybody, but with just the key people. You attend your classes, you get your materials, you get your lecture notes, and then you do your assessment, you do your examinations, and then you have everything seamlessly done. At the end of the day, you graduate, and then you get your certificate, you can process your transcript, you can get your results online. Look, the Smart Campus project is a way of digitalizing the entire learning environment in a tertiary institution.
Interesting.
Yes,
Making
yes.
things a lot easier for the students.
Much easier, much interesting, and importantly, it provides management and administrators with all statistical indices that they need while this education is going on, so that they can take very apt decision. So I can tell you, our Vice Chancellor, as at today, if you ask him the number of people that have applied for PLASU as at this 2026-2027, as at
Just
today,
go to his phone.
just he will give you the answer. If you ask how many male, how many female, he will give you the answer. If you want to know how many states have been covered in terms of application, he will let you know. There are so many information, and the Smart Campus project makes a lot of things very seamless, easy, and very efficient.
And I'm sure when you started, there was somewhere you started.
Yes.
So would want to know what was the state of ICT infrastructure and when the project began in Plateau State University.
All right. The project began in 2025, particularly around August, September 2025. That's when the initiative began. And prior to then, I can tell you that it will be difficult for the management or the institution to give you accurate figures of anything. In terms of students, in terms of staff, the academic planning, he's here. I'm sure he's going to talk more about that.
Sure,
yes, I'm telling you that students have no access to internet. Staff no have access to internet. The institution does not have a data bank, does not have a server room. The institution does not have any technological structure to take off any ICT related project. It was as good as we're saying ground zero, when you are starting something from ground zero,
From the scratch.
Yes. And the initiative came from the Vice Chancellor, Professor Shadrach Gaya Best. He's a goal getter. He's a focused and visionary leader, and he's vast traveled. So apparently he has gone round different institutions within and outside the country, and have seen what is obtainable in a very standard institution, and has felt it is high time to replicate something in the Plateau, bring the name of Plateau to the global map. And then he now called a team together to say, this is my vision, this is what I want to achieve. Is it possible to achieve it? Is it really possible? And if it is possible, what are the phases, what are the steps, what are the things we need to do to ensure that we get to that particular project? And he put the team and gave a timeline of maximum of 5 years. So you see, from last year's September, when the initiative was created, gradually we are here. We are now in August. We're almost a year now, and I can tell you, so far so good. God has led us thus far. Yes.
Okay. I'm happy that there's deliberate effort in moving Plateau State University forward, and from starting Ground Zero.
Yes.
I know now we would have to talk with the Director of Planning now, Professor Buba. Tell us, when Plateau State University was established,
Okay.
and with how many faculties? When was it established?
Okay.
And how many faculties were there on ground?
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, listeners. You see, the Plateau State University was initiated in 2005, but it took off in 2010. By that particular year, it commenced programs with only about 4 faculties. Those particular 4 faculties had a total of about 14 programs. But as of today, it's a different story. We have over 55 programs
At Plateau State
at
University?
Plateau State University with 13 departments, faculties.
Faculties, okay. Okay.
That's what we have of today.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That you said how many programs? 50.
55, over 55, yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what's the prospect for academic development in the university?
Yeah, so we have it today. You know, the vice chancellor that we have is a visionary leader. He came with plan to expand the university to a level that every Plateau man and woman and every Nigerian will find a place to train himself in Plateau State University. What we have presently, we have a system where the university want to take this knowledge seeking to your doorstep. Want to take it to your doorstep. That is why the idea of smart campus came in.
Up, okay. All right.
They want you, even if you are in your room, you should be able to study. You should be able to study, you should be able to learn. So the prospect for development, we have so many things that the VC has put in place. We have a plan of creating additional more faculties with new programs. Those particular faculties are faculties like the Faculty of Engineering and the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine. You know, on the Plateau, I think University of Jos, not long that they started these particular programs. But with the kind of programs we are bringing up, we are trying to complement what the University of Jos has on ground, so that it will give more opportunity to the Plateau people and Nigerians to study the course of their choice. So we are moving toward, like he said, a smart campus where it's very small but big. It's small but big in terms of knowledge, in terms of programs, in terms of training capacity, and all these ones. These are the direction of the Vice Chancellor, and I think it's the direction of everybody in the Plateau State University.
And while we were outside, I was discussing, and I said I was impressed when I saw the number of students from other parts of the country. I was thinking it was just Plateau people.
No.
And when last year when I saw the admission list, I saw that you people you have a lot even outside the state. So how do you rate the student population now? How many of the students do you have? What's the population growth of the university from inception to date, sir?
Okay, actually, university started with just about, I think, 500 students. That's when the university started. The admission quota was increased almost 3 times. Almost 3 times by the time Best came in, because he wanted the population to increase to meet the quota that was given by the university. As of today, we have close to about over 13,000 students. 13,000 students. And we are
from
hoping
500.
From 500. Presently, NUC, having seen the effort of the Plateau State University, they have given us an admission quota of 5,280. So, which is to say, by this year's admission, we're expecting about 5,280 students.
More.
So, plus or minus, we may likely get to about maybe 15 to 16,000 by the end of the admission.
And do you enjoy anything from the Tertiary Education Trust Fund?
Yeah, so much. We are grateful to TED Fund. Their involvement in the capacity building, in the training of staff and even students, I think is very, very enormous. We are most grateful to TED Fund. You see most of the physical infrastructure in the university are mostly financed by TED Fund. You see most of our PhD students, I think there was even a year we had about 28 staff that went out to read in different courses at the level of PhD. I think TED Fund is doing very well.
Okay,
doing
so
very well.
the school is enjoying
we
all
thank God.
that. Okay, so Sir Sati, someone I know traveled out and went to school abroad, and after the class they were told that they were going to be sent an assignment on the board. She waited for the board, waited for the assignment. She never saw it. She didn't know that it was a smart something. I think they've been there a long time before now. But our problem now, it's a good idea that we go into the smart campus project. But my concern now is internet. You have an assignment, and then they tell you that there's an assignment, but you can't get access. So what is PLASU doing in this regard?
All right, thank you very much. You see, formally, learning, the amount of knowledge you get is determined by the size of your institution and the classroom. But where PLASU is going, the learning you have is not determined by the size of the institution, because we are going to a borderless institution. We are going, like the Director of Academic Planning says, learning even from home. We're going to have learning everywhere. Anywhere you are, you should be able to be a student of PLASU, do your assignments, carry out your assessment, and so on and so forth. But when it comes to campus, when we came, like I said, we had ground zero. There was no internet. Staff were using mobile data to access whatever it is they want to access, or they buy small SIM routers. But right now we are having about 500 to 600 megabits of bandwidth, and as at that, we thought we had plenty until we started expanding the access to all faculties. So I can tell you now, we have internet access in about 23 buildings, including all faculties. We have internet access in the hostels, both male and female hostels. We have internet access across the campus. The Vice Chancellor has also approved of recently the upgrade of our bandwidth. He has decided to double, because we presented facts that because we have made access to everybody, the demand for the internet has increased tremendously. So the Vice Chancellor has just approved the doubling of that particular bandwidth. Additionally, we also thank PIDA and the State Governor, His Excellency Barrister Caleb Manasseh Mutfwang. PIDA has told us that the governor has approved some amount of bandwidth that will also be deployed to the institution in order to boost the capacity of what we currently have. So when it comes to internet, I think the institution is trying. Within less than a year, we are able to go far. To make it more interesting, when you want to expand your network, there is what we call the wireless connection, and then there is the cable connection. We have the wireless connection everywhere, but the Vice Chancellor said he needs more than that. And then as I'm talking to you now, there is fiber optic backbone that is being laid. I think the project will be completed by next week. They are laying fiber optic backbone across 37 locations on that campus. And once you lay fiber, you know that you have a bigger trunk to carry enough bandwidth that you want to carry. So we have good internet everywhere now, so I can say comfortably that our internet coverage covers about 86 to 87% of the entire campus. Okay. We can say that. And the Vice Chancellor's dream is that before the end of 2026 we have reached the 100% coverage. That is what he wants. The moment you enter the institution's gate, to anywhere you go, you should be able to have internet, and that's what he's working on. The fiber project is still currently going on, and that will boost the idea of the internet service. And as I'm also telling you, he has also approved this building and setting up of our data center. Data center is like the big server room where you have your servers, you have your network equipment, you have everything being managed from there. And once all these things are completed, which hopefully they should be completed before this year runs out, I can tell you that internet will not be a problem. Internet will not be a problem. Let me even help you to understand why this project is going like this. Currently, the institution is going, we have what we call the learning management system, the LMS. Now, the institution is working on a system where lecturers can interact with their students anywhere the lecturer may be. The lecturer may be anywhere, the student may be anywhere, and there is a learning management system. He can be able to create lecture notes, create assignments, and he will be corresponding with the students on one-on-one basis. A lecturer, to be able to create and update his lecture notes, all he needs to do is use the LMS, the learning management system, and it will generate the latest NUC standard content that a student is supposed to take that is competitive anywhere in the country. We have that particular facility currently now in Plasu. And the next thing is just to do training for lecturers. Once lecturers are able to get hold of this particular tool and begin the usage of it, wow, both students and staff, learning experience is going to be beautiful. Because imagine that you wake up in the morning and then you see a notification that you have an assignment to submit, and then you open that notification and see that the lecturer has sent a reminder for you, and you're able to do the assignment in your hostel or in your room, and you submit it, and the lecturer now receives it, grades it, and then immediately you see your score. Before you write your exam, you already know what your continuous assessment is, and by the time you write your exams, you immediately know your scores. Look, it's so interesting that currently now our student, in fact right from last semester, once the semester is done, the Senate approves result, students automatically check their results from their phone. You don't need to go to any board to go and check. You don't need to go and ask. Just log into your profile and check your semester results, and it's as seamless as that. So internet connectivity has made a lot of this possible. We have a very big target for us to have a huge capacity of internet. Our target is to reach the 3 gigabit mark for internet capacity, but we are yet to get there. But once we get there, I'm sure you will hear the story everywhere.
We all look forward to
yes,
it.
Yes.
I know that we have a couple of your students from Plateau State University doing their IT here in PRTV.
Yes.
And from my conversation with them, I've been told that any moment from now they will be resuming. So how has technology improved student registration, or how will it make registration easier for these students? Registration has to do with, of course, payment of fees, and then of course result processing, which you just talked about. Are you ready for them as they plan to resume any moment?
I can say we are 100% ready. In fact, I was having a discussion with one of the deans the other day, and I told him we're here because of the students, and our job is to make the students comfortable as much as we can. Right now, students that applied before they are even admitted, There are those that applied and the current students. Once you have a problem, you have your portal, just click the support. There's where it says support. Click it and generate a ticket. A ticket is just where you will lay your complaint. I have a concern. I don't have to leave Jos to go to Plasu. Just in your room, just tap it, and then it's going to table your complaint. The moment you table your complaint, you will discover that somebody, an agent, will respond to you. The ticket will automatically be routed to somebody in ICT. If it is payment issue, there is somebody to do that. If it is a biodata issue, there's somebody that it will be routed to. Whatever your category of problem is, there's somebody that has already been set, dedicated to answer that, and they will all answer. But for those that want to meet with us physically, we have our support desk in ICT in Plasu, and the Vice Chancellor has also recently approved for us to set up a support desk in Jos here in Obasanjo Model School, where we're having the remedial program. So an office has been set for ICT. We're going to call it the extended support desk. We're currently setting up that place, and once we're done, students can meet us here in Jos or can meet us in Plasu, and the readiness to receive them, I can tell you, we are very, 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 very ready. The admission will be conducted very soon, and so there will now be need for registration. And even at that, registration is important. We have to actually use this opportunity to lay a concern and maybe an orientation to some of our applicants. Most of our people, some of them come from villages, some of them from the town, and they don't know their left from their right. And because of that, there are some people that are, some of them from these cafes that don't understand our system, are looking for the opportunity to exploit the students. In the last issues, some of the issues we had is, you see somebody will give a cafe person his school fees to pay for, and the school fees will not be paid, rather it will be paid for somebody else. Another case, you will see, you will go to do your biodata, and then the cafe person will just enter any details because he just wants to get his money and go. And then you have a lot of students coming to ICT. We have this problem and this problem, and when you begin investigating, you discover they had already gone to the cafe to make those concerns. If there's any cafe that is supposed to do this, they need to come to ICT to get understanding on how the system works.
But can they use their phones and do all those things?
Of course! You can stay at the comfort of your home and do these registrations. Verify your details. Make sure that you are submitting the correct information.
And of course, make payment as well.
And then make payment on your own. You don't need to give anybody any money to make payment for you. In fact, we have recently added another payment gateway. Our payment gateway formerly was Remitter, but now we have added InterSwitch. So with these two payment gateways, you can make mobile transfer, you can use USSD code to make payment, you can even go to the bank to make payment, you can use your ATM card to make payment, there are so many multiple avenues you can do your payment. And if you do that, it's going to help you. It's going to help you. If you have a question, you always reach out to the ICT Directorate, or you go to your student dashboard or your applicant's dashboard. There is a link that says support, get support, and then if you just click it, generate a ticket. If you are in doubt about anything, generate a ticket, and we have made it a point of duty that we do our best to resolve tickets between 24 to 48 hours maximum. So somebody will definitely attend to you. You understand? So we want our applicants to know that they are important, and we don't have any intention to stress anybody. As much as possible, the technologies that we are having is going to help the registration process to be seamless. As at today, we have over 8,000 applicants into Plasu. People that have gone to JAM to apply to come to Plus, over 8,000.
Interesting.
As at now, and the application form is not yet closed. is still open down to September. You understand? So as at last year, we had over 12,000 when we closed. We had over 12,000 applicants, and we could only take 4,700 plus. You understand? So the demand into Plasu is increasing, and increasing by the day. So our applicants need to know that we are happy you are choosing Plasu. We are very, very happy, and we are looking forward to seeing you. And we are getting everything ready to prepare for your coming.
And do they need any connection to?
No. That's another interesting thing about Plasu. Don't go and give anybody money that is going to help you find admission, because the person will be lying to you. This Vice Chancellor, the last admission that was done is one of the most transparent admission process. From your application, the post-UTME, the system has been configured to calculate your points, from your JAM points to your WAEC or your NECO, your grades, whether it's A, B, C, D, E, or F. It will calculate your total points. And when it comes to admission, all we're just going to do is sort it out, those from the highest to the lowest point. And then if they are going to pick the first 50, they will just pick the first store. And surprisingly, you
also
see
those that have done their post UTME, they will see their score.
They will see their score.
They will see their score on the printout.
On the
score of the combination of their JAM and their SSCE or NECO. So they will know whether they will see it is there on the printout, whether they have gotten up to B average, or that's 60 and above average, or 70 and above average, or less than that.
And what's the expected point for admission into Plasu now?
Yeah, depending on it varies. It depends on the program. So every program have their own minimum cut-off points. Yes.
All right, we'll take a break, and when we return, we'll continue this very interesting conversation on the Smart Campus project. I have with me Sati Satmer Dapel, Director ICT, Directorate, Plateau State University, Plasu Bokos, and of course Professor Buba Mamman Wufem. He is a Directorate of Academic Planning, Plasu. Thank you so much for listening, and we will take a break. When we return, this conversation continues. Stay with us.
Thank you.
Welcome back from that break, very short break, and we're back to this conversation. Good morning, Plateau, Peace FM 90.5. I have with me Sati Satma Daper. He is also an ICT consultant and the ICT director of Directorate, Plateau State University, Bokos. We also have Professor Buba Mamman Wufem. He is the Directorate of Academic Planning, Plasu, and we have been looking at the project, Smart Campus Project. We've talked a lot how things will be made easier for the staff of PLASU, the students of PLASU, and of course it's going to be very great if all these things, all the plan or the project works out. Maybe would want to know, coming to you, Professor Buba, what's the university's future plan for Plateau State University?
Okay. Plateau State University has a very big plan for Plateau State and Nigeria at large. We want to see that no child is on the street. Every child should be engaged in learning. That's why we have a very big entrepreneurial center, and new programs were introduced to accommodate most of our applicants. Just like the VC has always said, he doesn't want to see any child on the street. He wants every child to be engaged in learning. This year we have introduced about 16 new programs. These particular new programs are programs that you can hardly find anywhere. We have about 5 programs in the Faculty of Health Sciences. We have programs like the optometry. We have programs like radiography, nutrition and dietetics, and we also have programs like which one is that? Ophthalmology. No, optometry. So these particular programs are those particular programs that have to do with health. We also
have medicine.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. At what level are they?
In its 200 level now.
Okay. Okay.
Pharmacy.
Yeah. I'm talking about the recent one that we want to take students into 100 level. These are the most recent courses that we have now. The student can apply or change their courses to. We already have pharmacy, we already have medicine, we already have medical lab, we have public health. These are the health courses. But the most recent ones are the ones that I've just listed. We also have other new courses. We have unbundled the mass communication program. They now have a faculty of their own with about 4 new courses. You can now go and read media and mass communication. You can go there and read journalism and many other courses in the Faculty of Mass Communication. We have also unbundled
broadcasting.
Broadcasting. We have also unbundled computer science to a Faculty of Computing. You can go there and read cyber security. You can go there and read computer science, data science, and many other computer courses.
Information technology.
Information technology. All these are courses that have now been made available. The students can go there and apply. So the program is expanding at a rate that is equivalent to the increase in population of Nigerians. We want to catch up with that particular rate at which the population is building up. These are the plan that the university has for Plateau and Nigerians at large. There are many other courses that time may not permit me to keep saying. Like I said, we have over 55 programs in the university. Over 55. So we need students, and I'm very sure every student that need a course or a program, he will find a befitting program in this particular university. All he need to do is to browse on the portal. He will see different types of programs that we have there, and he can make his choice. Yeah.
Okay. Sati, I know you've talked so much, the big vision, the Smart Campus project, how far you have gone, but what are the biggest challenges slowing down the project? Power, funding, maintenance, training. What are the biggest challenges?
ICT project is capital intensive. That one is fact. We have great plans, but these challenges that are coming up. But part of the plans we have, I even forgot to mention, we're very soon going to launch our digital transcript system. Currently now our transcript system is up and running. We have results for those who graduated from 2022 to date, they can go online and apply for their transcript. The transcript system is up, so the VC is going to launch it very soon. We're also going to have a call center. A call center is a system where people can call from anywhere in the world. You can call the institution and then the system will route your call. If you want to talk to ICT, it will route the call to ICT. If it is the Vice Chancellor's office, fine. If it is to registry, if it is regards admission, the call center is coming in, and is also a big project that comes into play, and we also have what we call a smart ID card system. Our smart ID card system is coming up also before the year runs out, where the students are going to be having what we call an RFID ID cards. Your ID cards will carry like a chip of information inside it. The VC is so visionary that he has started building what we call smart halls, and some of these smart halls require you to use smart cards to gain access into those halls. You want to have lectures, because we have video conferencing centers now in the universities, currently active and live. So some of these video conferencing centers, if you want to enter in any of those halls, you need to use your smart ID cards to access it. So there is so many technological projects that are coming up, but one very big challenge is power. Power is a major challenge everywhere, and the Vice Chancellor is towing the direction of solar energy, and he's also building a dam, a very, very big dam in the institution to provide water and, if possible, generate power.
Okay.
So in order to address those issues, the issue of power, we're starting with solar. Like the ICT Directorate now is run 24/7 of solar and things like that. We also have our smart campus surveillance system that will be coming up. A surveillance system in the campus that once you come in, it has facial detection, motion sensors, plate number recognition, and stuff like that. All these technological advancements require power. So that's one major challenge. The other challenge is funding. TEDFund is doing exceptionally well. TEDFund is really supporting this institution. The state government is also doing very, very well. They are keen into the vision of the governor, and then the Vice Chancellor is really helping in that particular side. So, but like Oliver Twist, it's not enough, because the visions, the dreams are big, the demand is coming up. ICT is capital intensive, so power is one major challenge. Secondly is inadequate or insufficient funding. If more funds can come into the institution, it will be great. And I use this opportunity to call on well-meaning Nigerians or Plateau indigenes. You can pick up one project and fund it. All you want to do is, let's say you want to say, I want to fund this project in Plateau. You can reach out to the institution, and then you can fund it, because we need funding. That one is there. Another challenge that we have is that orientation. We started this project last year, towards the ending of last year, and it's not enough to just have the infrastructure and the technological structure. It's also good enough to have people use it, and for people to use it, they need to key into it, they need to understand the usage, they need to buy into it, you understand. And it's one thing that we're having some small challenges which we are gradually overcoming. We're doing orientation for staff, we're doing orientation for students, we're having stakeholders meetings, we're finding a way to create awareness. If people know that these facilities are there, they are going to make use of it. We have what we call smart halls and smart screen. There's this smart board, we want the Vice Chancellor wants to deploy everywhere. We have started with some very few labs or classes. It's an interactive board where it's like a screen. You can write on it. It can interact with you and things like that. And I see the vision of the Vice Chancellor, especially in the medical side. He's looking at a scenario where we're going to partner with foreign lecturers or foreign professionals to teach our students. They may not necessarily be in Plateau or in Nigeria. They can be anywhere in the world, but Plateau will have the facility, the video conferencing facility, to be able to interact with them. You understand? So we have what they call Diaspora Bridge. Yes, in partnership with TED Fund. So that particular system is also in place so that we can complement the staff strength that we have. So those are some of the major challenge: power, insufficient funding, and
orientation.
Yes, orientation. Acceptability and orientation. There's something we are also planning. We want to go into the e-governance aspects. Where administration is going to be digitalized, and that's part of our future plans. Hopefully by next year we should be able to achieve that, but we have started the process now, where you want to generate a memo, is digital. You want to give approval, is digital. You want to apply for your DTA, is go online. You want to apply for your leave, your promotion, your appraisal, everything. So the Vice Chancellor can be anywhere in the world, but yes, he's approving memos. The head of department can be anywhere in the world and he's treating files. The secretaries can be anywhere and they are treating. So, like I said, we want to go borderless. And we will get there with the drive and the support that the institution is getting from top management and the state government. We will get there. I can tell you.
You're not afraid, or you're not scared that the project could be there could be what's the word now, hacked.
Now that's where security comes into play. We have a cybersecurity center that we are currently building, and one of the things that we're doing, you see, in our service provision, we have what we call the on-prem data center. That means the server room that we're having, and then we have another one in the cloud. Now the ones both in the cloud and the one local are being secured and synchronized. There is security threats everywhere. There's security threats everywhere, but these hackers are not witches and wizards. They use head, they use logic, they use orientation. And so what we are doing is to make sure that at the core layer and the distribution layer of our infrastructure is security tight, top-notch security. We are also trying to work on orientation of students and staff, because security breaches usually begins from the end user. If I leave my login details out, for instance, we have noticed a lot of our students, they maintain their default login details to their profile. When the profile is created, it comes with a default login details, so they come with that and they don't change it, and that is wrong. So somebody can be able to check it for you. A student came to my office the other day that she's trying to check her result, and she has reached the maximum number of times she's supposed to check her result, but she has not checked even once. I say, let's check. So when we check the logs, we discovered that she actually checked, but the problem was she was not the one that did it. Somebody used her login detail and checked the results. So orientation is very important. If people can start by creating strong passwords, changing their passwords and things like that, it will go a very long way in securing that.
Okay, let's hear from the listener now. Let's hear what they have to say, if they have any questions or issues that they want to raise. 08125884048 is the number to call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Goladi Belsi. I'm calling from Karami. Thank you.
Goladi.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I want to ask that are they offering criminology and security studies in Southeast?
Okay.
And I want to know the amount of institution, the lower and the highest.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. You want to? Okay, he's gone. But he wants to know if Plateau offers criminology and security studies.
Okay, yeah, thank you. For now, we don't have that particular program.
Okay.
The only program that is very close to that is law or cyber security. These are the only two courses that are very close to that particular one.
Okay.
And I think his second question, he was talking about the lowest, the minimum required jump point, I think quarter point. Yeah, for Plateau State University, for all other programs other than medicine, medical lab, and nursing, they are all 160 as a minimum cut-off point, while for medicine and medical lab and nursing, they are 200.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm sure you heard that. Okay, let's take this one. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm fine.
I'm based about the
Okay, Ambassador Caleb, go ahead.
This discussion is very important, and I would like to say that no thanks to the department and to the head of the school. I'm pleading to the government to make the availability of the funds so that this program will expand more and more. At the same time, all workers should be recruited so that the job opportunity will be easier. The more the workload, the workers will crash. But when they are in segment from sectors, thank you very much.
Okay. Hello? Your network is not too good. You weren't too clear. Did you get his question?
I think he was just making a general comment.
Okay.
About the first, he appreciated the leadership of the university.
Okay.
And secondly, he was talking about opportunities that could be made available for the Plateau State. I think in terms of employment, I think, if I heard him very well.
And then he wants this kind of program to come up more for orientation to help guide people.
All right.
Like
so
that.
let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, presenter, the director, ICT directorate, and the professor in the house. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is William Johnson Baton here in Anglo. I happen to be a student with Plateau State University, Bocos, from the Faculty of Law. And in fact, the breakdown and the analysis that the director, the ICT, and the professor are giving, most of them are true. And in fact, we really appreciate the effort of this present Vice Chancellor. He is doing marvelously well, and we commend him for that, and we wish that he continue to do that. That is for the good interest of Plateau citizens and Nigeria at large. I observed in the Faculty of Law, because I once attended diploma in law from the University of Jos. In fact, most of the facilities and even the lecture rooms in Plateau State University, Bocos, they are more fantastic than even the University of Jos that has been operating for a very long period of time. Talking about the library, talking about even the moot court, talking about the lecture rooms, they are very, very fantastic. Most of the facilities in that university, they are doing marvelously well. And what I only advise is that in e-library, they need more computers, because the one they have is a bit not enough. And water, there is no water in this campus, particularly drinking waters and even the toilets. They need to do more on that. And secondly, the issue of security. I once said that the state government should step in maybe to request for the police divisional headquarters around the school environment, so that where the students are located, once there is a distress call, they can be able to respond promptly. And another issue again is the fence, the school fence. particularly at the back. That particular place, they need to at least something to be done about it, so that students and the staff can be well secured. But light again is another problem. We normally have challenge with light, so they need to be done about that. Apart from those things, a lot of things are so fantastic in that school. We give credit to them, and we hope they continue to do more. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that commendation.
I think you spoke about light.
Yes, I think you have addressed all those ones, the lights and the water, which is of course the only extra is the fact that there's need for more computers. In the e-library. And then moving now to the stream, we have Opel Famun Estefanos. Good morning, presenter and the guests in the studio. I must commend this laudable project initiated by the VC. It's our prayer that it comes to reality. My question is this: in as much as government projects such as these are very impactful, particularly to the life of students and the entire staff who are digitally inclined, what are the mechanisms that will be put in place to ensure sustainability and the continuous usage of these projects? Secondly, after the project is completed, can the institution be engaged in distance learning as the case with National Open University? That's it. Good morning from Nandom, the presenter and our able guest. What we are happy with the project, with the progress of Plateau in all areas. God bless Plateau, God bless Plateau and Nigeria. Manji David said, good job to Plateau and to our guests today. The Smart Campus project shows real vision for the future of education in Plateau State. Kudos to Mr. Sadman Dapel, Director of ICT, and Professor Buba Maman Wufem, Director of Academic Planning, for driving technology and academics together. Plateau is proud of what Plateau is doing. Elon Chet Nani, but is the institution on strike? That's what he's asking, because we're hearing that ASU, Plateau are on strike. Maybe for clarification, this is a question he wants to know. That's Elon wants to know if the institution is on strike. Then of course, Isaac Dung says awesome. That's all that we have on the internet. Just to round up, because time is already against us. All right, Prof.
Okay, thank you, listeners, once again. Let me start with the e-learning. Just was it 2 weeks back, the Vice Chancellor directed me, the Director of Academic Planning and the Director of Research, to go to our neighboring university to go and understudy the way they do their e-learning programs and look at their curriculum and bring it back to the university so that we can sit together with the Director of ICT to see how we can kick-start our own. So our own is going to be more than the National Open University is referring to. Because our ICT prowess is more than that of the National Open University. We have a director of ICT that is very sound, very young, and ambitious. He wants to maybe one day send some of our students to the moon. You understand?
Obviously.
Yeah. So I think
look forward to that. Actually.
Yeah, I think for Plateau, sky is our limit. Sky is our limit. And concerning strike, but it's not a strike that may last, because already the Vice Chancellor has put so many things in place to make sure this strike does not last beyond this week. Okay. So let's be hopeful. They're actually on strike. Yeah. Okay. They declare strike. So, but we are trusting God. Let us by Friday, the strike may be called off.
Yeah, we pray that it doesn't last more than this week.
Yes.
Okay. So, Sati, go ahead in rounding up now.
Let's. Yeah. I would like to tell all listeners, Plateau is our own. Is our own institution. We should guard it.
My name is Yaksat Maklek. The International Monetary Fund has warned that poorly designed regulations and weak institutional frameworks could continue to weigh on economic growth across G20 economies, with the group's medium-term growth prospects expected to remain weak. The IMF said the G20, which accounts for about 85% of global output, is forecast to record annual growth of just 3% of the 2031, close to its lowest level since the global financial crisis. In its 2026 G20 report on strong, sustainable, balanced, and inclusive growth, the fund said excessive or poorly targeted regulations, as well as weak institutional frameworks, were amongst the factors limiting the ability of economies to achieve stronger and more sustainable growth. The report, prepared by IMF staff, said the G20 economies had weathered another year of shocks, including energy price increases, persistent policy uncertainty, and heightened protectionism. And however, he noted that the resilience of these economies should not hide the deeper challenge posed by weak medium-term growth prospects. And according to IMF, structural policies and regulations are important for addressing market failures and other inefficiencies that can affect welfare and growth. It added that the weak institutional frameworks, particularly in areas such as public financial management, could also restrict growth by reducing the efficiency and scale of both public and private investment. Electronic payment transactions via 6 channels recorded a 2.85% year-on-year increase in value to 1.053 quadrillion naira in the first quarter of 2026. The 6 channels are check, automated teller machine, point of sale, web pay, mobile pay, and Nigeria instant payment. And this shows that Nigerians carried out fewer transactions while the amount moved through the various channels increased. However, the transaction volume across 6 channels fell by 1.19% year-on-year to 12.57 billion naira in the period under review. The development indicates an increase in the average amount involved in individual transactions despite the decline in the number of transactions. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, disclosed this in its quarterly statistical bulletin for the first quarter, which showed that the point-on-sale channel recorded the sharpest decline during the period. In contrast, the automated teller machine transactions recorded growth in both volume and value. Mobile pay recorded the strongest growth in transaction volume, rising by 28.60%. Nigeria instant payment transactions, however, showed a divergence between volume and value. Web pay transactions, on the other hand, fell by 14.14% in volume, and check transactions also declined, with volume falling by 15.01%. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority said crude oil imports by domestic refineries rose by 151.5% to 5.13 million barrels in July 2026. The increase came amid a sharp decline in domestic crude supply to refineries during the month. The NMDPRA's July 2026 midstream and downstream statistics showed that domestic refineries received a total of 17.88 million barrels of crude. Imported crude therefore accounted for 28.7% of total crude receipts by domestic refineries in July, while domestic supplies accounted for 71.3%. The 5.13 million barrels imported in July represented a significant increase from the 2.04 million barrels recorded in June. However, July's import volume remained below the 9.43 million barrels recorded in March, the highest monthly volume so far in the year. The report also showed that domestic crude supply to refineries declined by 25.4% month-on-month in June. The decline in domestic supply was partly offset by increased imports, although total crude receipts still fell by 6.5% in July. President Bola Tinubu has expressed support for the companies behind the $3.1 billion customs modernization project of the African Continental Free Trade Area, describing the initiative as capable of accelerating economic progress across the continent. The president gave the endorsement in Abuja during a courtesy visit by Saleh Amadou, a trade, revenue, and security strategist whose company, Beckman's Security Consultants and Supplies Limited, said a 20-year concession agreement with the AFCFTA Secretariat for the project. The agreement, implemented in partnership with the AfriTrade CMP Limited, covers all 55 member states of the Continental Trade Bloc and is focused on modernizing customs and strengthening trade facilitation across Africa. And according to a statement by the firm, Tinubu commended Amadou for designing and leading the execution of the concession, stressing the importance of efficient customs systems to the success of the AFCFTA and the continent's economic integration agenda. The president, who has been implementing far-reaching economic reforms in Nigeria, described the project as transformative, noting its potential to accelerate economic growth and improve trade across African countries. The AFCFTA is one of the flagship projects of the African Union's Agenda 2063. The continent's long-term development framework was established to accelerate inter-African trade, strengthen Africa's position in global markets, and create a common framework for trade negotiations. The Continental Free Trade Agreement emerged from a decision adopted by African leaders at the 18th Ordinary Session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, in January 2012. Nigeria has dropped 12 places in the 2026 ranking of the world's 60 poorest countries based on GDP per capita at purchasing power parity. The Global Finance magazine, which released the ranking, placed Nigeria 56th compared with 44th in the 2025 ranking. The ranking was based on the GDP per capita at purchasing power parity, a measure that adjusts for differences in the cost of living and inflation across the countries. And Nigeria's nominal GDP per capita was estimated at about $1,500 in 2026, while its GDP per capita at purchasing power parity was $9,532.92. The figures indicated that although Nigeria's purchasing power adjusted GDP per capita stood above that of several countries in the list, the country's lower position showed the economic pressure facing its citizens amid a high cost of living. The GDP per capita at purchasing power parity is used to compare the economic output and living standards of the people in different countries by adjusting for the prices of goods and services in each country. The ranking showed that African countries dominated the bottom of the global list. The other countries amongst the 10 poorest were Yemen, Mozambique, Malawi, Somalia, Liberia, Madagascar, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The ranking placed Nigeria amongst countries facing serious economic challenges, as the drop came at a point when the households were dealing with rising prices and a decline in their purchasing power. And that wraps it up for us on Business News, reaching you live from our RFA facility. You can stay tuned for News Track that comes up by 2 p.m. as well as Global News by 6:30 p.m. Thanks for joining and stay with us.